So, we have spoken to Alistair repeatedly now. We have collected our 2 fellow Grey Warden recruits. This would be Jory and Davith. Jory, the knight from Redcliffe, who's eagerly awaiting the chance to get back to his new wife in High Ever, which, I mean, I don't think he knows about High Ever's recent issues in general, so I don't think that's going to go well for him all the way around, but I guess we'll see. And Davith, who was recruited as a thief in Denerim for picking Duncan's pocket. So we'll see how that goes. So now we shall talk to Duncan and be like, okay, we have assembled the Avengers, now what do we do?
You found Alistair, did you? Good. I'll assume you're ready to begin preparations. Assuming, of course, that you're quite finished riling up mages, Alistair.
What can I say? The revered mother ambushed me. The way she wields guilt, they should stick her in the army.
She forced you to sass the mage, did she? We cannot afford to antagonize anyone, Alistair. We don't need to give anyone more ammunition against us.
You're right, Duncan. I apologize.
Now then, since you're all here, we can begin. You 4 will be heading into the Korcari Wilds to perform 2 tasks. The first is to obtain 3 vials of darkspawn blood, 1 for each recruit.
Yes, they should have a mic check option for Alistair. That would be great. Okay, so we have to get 3 vials of darkspawn blood. Ooh. And what is the second task?
There was once a Grey Warden archive in the wilds, abandoned long ago when we could no longer afford to maintain such remote outposts. It has recently come to our attention that some scrolls have been left behind, magically sealed to protect them. Alistair, I want you to retrieve these scrolls if you can.
Find the archive and 3 vials of blood. Understood. But no, we won't say that because we have more questions, because we always have more questions. What kind of scrolls are these?
Old treaties, if you're curious. Promises of support made to the Grey Wardens long ago. They were once considered only formalities. With so many having forgotten their commitments to us, I suspect it may be a good idea to have something to remind them with.
I suspect you're right. And I just realized I forgot to do the voice. We can't have that, so... and what if they're no longer there?
It's possible the scrolls may have been destroyed or even stolen. Though the seal's magic should have protected them. Only a Grey Warden can break such a seal.
I don't understand. Why leave such things in a ruin if they're so valuable?
It was assumed that we would someday return. A great many things were assumed that have not held true.
How will we find this archive?
It will be an overgrown ruin by now, but the sealed chest should remain intact. Alistair will guide you to the area you need to search.
Is this part of our joining too?
No, but the effort must be made. I have every confidence you are up to the task.
Find the archive and 3 vials of blood. Understood.
Watch over your charges, Alistair. Return quickly and safely.
We will.
Then may the Maker watch over your path. I will see you when you return.
Every time I see the name of the quest, Tainted Blood, I start singing the song Tainted Love in my head. It's just what happens. It's just how it is. We did empty out our pockets, I believe. Did we not? Probably have some things that we could get rid of. Let's go do that. Before we head off into the wilds, important life lessons. Before you head off to do your quests, always make sure that your pockets are empty, because you may find good things that you want to put in your pockets, and it's always a bummer when you cannot do so.
Hello again. Is there something you need? Some supplies, perhaps?
Let me see what you have. Actually, we did that the last time, so this time, let me see your other goods.
So long as you keep it quiet.
See, he has things here that are like bombs and acid flasks and some things like that. Some health poultices. This is double baked Mabari Crunch, is a health restoration item for the dog, but he's not with us at the moment, so it's not really a major issue. Some protection from heat, from nature damage, a few other odds and ends here. Since we are still relatively poor at the moment, I am not going to buy anything right now. You can separate by category, if I hadn't mentioned that before, which is very handy. But I don't think there's anything particular that we need right at this moment. I'm not going to sell quite everything, but so we've got these are going to be Davith and Jory's helmets. And I should probably check everyone else's. See, I have Mom's armor too, now that she's doesn't need it anymore. No, I do not want to destroy it. I want to sell it. What am I doing? And I might as well sell mine too, because let's be real, I'm not going to wear it anymore. This is a thing that doesn't work. These are things that are going to have to go into storage later, because I don't need them right now, but I also don't want to get rid of them. And that's true for that too. Commander's plate boots. Sorry, I know this part isn't very exciting. Alright. Some of those things were good quality, but I'm pretty sure what Alistair has on is going to be better than that already, and we won't need anything for anyone else anytime soon. And to compare, to know if it is better than what your characters are wearing currently, you can switch down here to see what they have on, and then when you do the comparison, it will compare to what they're wearing. So he's got the Grey Warden heavy armor on already, so he's already got an armor set, an item set bonus, so we're obviously not going to use these, so we can go ahead and get rid of them. And I think that shall be fine for now. Everything else is either an item that's like a DLC item that's a good quality but it's just not something I'm going to use yet, or part of a set that you get the rest of it later, and I don't really want to get rid of it yet at this point. And if I get out in the woods and have not enough room, then there's always that. So you probably can get rid of, we can put some jewelry, we can put some bling on our new boys, and that will help too. Okay, so let's do that. So let's open our inventory and go to our guys here. Put his helmet on. You might notice that I have 2 equip slots here. That's because I have the no helmet hack mod. They call it the no helmet hack, but it's a mod like any other mod. Really, it's just it gives a like a cape slot basically, and it puts the helmet into that, a cape slot that's invisible, and so it puts the helmet into that slot instead of putting it on your head and obstructing your face and all that kind of stuff. I know that's not practical, and I know if you're really going into a battle you would want a helmet over your face, but I like to see my people, and so I do. So yeah, when you see, this is if I wanted to put it on his head, and then you would see it on him like that, or if I want to put it on as a cape item so that it counts for the bonus but is not actually visible, I can put it there, and then it still has credit for wearing it but is not actually having it on. And we're gonna give him some better daggers because I'm pretty sure ours are better. Then we can sell these boring normal daggers, and I like to give him daggers because I am using a bow and I don't like competition because he might be a better shot than me and we can't have that. So, meanwhile, we've got Davith, who needs his helmet. I don't know, we might be able to put the helmet on him, but that's not very nice. He's using a greatsword. I don't think we have. He's not getting the family sword. He's not my favorite. So, anyway, let's go back to Alistair and get him some bling. We always give Alistair the good stuff first. Everyone else is second on the list. Let's see. We'll give him the Mark of Vigilance because it has a high defense. And we will give him the belt that gives him more armor, I believe, or maybe the resistance. No, he doesn't do nature damage, so we're going to give him the resistance, damage resistance. He already has a ring that's restricted to him, which is, you'll find some items that are restricted to certain characters. Usually they're story related in some way or another. This is just a worry token for Alistair so that he can hold on to it and not stress. But, so he's already got that. We're going to leave that on him for now and give him the... We don't want to give him this one because it reduces hostility, and he needs to get all the hostility because he is our tank. So I think I will put that on me because I don't want the hostility. So we're going to give that to me, and we're going to give that to him. Alright, and meanwhile, Davith can have... that one increases monetary gain. That sounds like something he'd use. And he can use... Oh, should I give that one to Alistair? 3 defense, 1 armor. Yeah, let's do that one instead. You'd think that I had not played this before. The way that I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that. I have not played this area for a while. We'll go with that. Although I do have another playthrough that is specifically for taking screenshots and videos, and I purposefully found armor and stuff that doesn't work, that's invisible when put on. Because it doesn't work for that character, and I made a character with a skin texture that doesn't work, and or no, the skin texture I just put on a helmet, but their eyes still showed up, which was really weird. So I made an eye texture, found an eye texture that also doesn't work. So by doing that, basically I engineered myself a character that is invisible, which will then get out of my way when I am trying to take screenshots. It was a little bit of a roundabout way to go, but you know, it works. So, whoops, I thought I gave that to him. I did not. See, I'm not paying attention. I gotta get better at this whole talking and doing things at the same time situation. Okay, we'll give additional armor to Tori. We'll give him one that gives him additional constitution. And we'll give him the memory band, because why not? So yeah, we're down to 33 items. We can sell off
Hello
the
again.
extra
Is there something you need?
daggers
Supplies,
that we just
perhaps?
took off of Davith.
Let me know what you'd like.
I will. I would like to sell things to you. Here you go. I would like for you to give me money for those things. Glad we had this conversation. Alright, so now that we've got everyone kitted out and we've got our... let's see what we got in here.
Let's get started.
Ice arrows. Sure, why not? Now that everybody's kitted out and we have our pockets as emptied out as we can get them for now, we can head into the mysterious and dangerous Korcari Wilds. Bum-ba-bum. So, onward we go. Did we talk to the Ash Warrior yesterday? I think we did. Or last time. I keep saying yesterday, and it was not yesterday. We did, because I remember that I was talking with Julia about the fact that he has the same voice actor as Cullen, and it's very weird. So, we won't revisit that. By the way, if you miss any of the streams, I do put them on my YouTube channel, and so you can review what you may have missed. We're going to see if this guy will let us out. Hey, sir.
Hail.
I'm told you all have business in the wilds. The gate's open for you. Just be careful out there. Even a Grey Warden won't be safe in the forest tonight.
Well, that's ominous. Thanks for your vote of confidence there, pal. We have reached the Korcari Wilds. See, the dog technically should not be with us at this moment. I probably should not have the dog slot mod installed yet at this point, because story speaking, he went off with Duncan, but it works, it's fine. The one thing about the extra dog slot mod is that it does also make the game easier, because essentially you have an extra party member. So if you are concerned by that, there are difficulty enhancement mods that you can get. I, as you may have noticed, am not concerned about that. So what do we have? We have wolves. There are wolves at the door, literally. Go, boys. Go be my meat shield while I shoot them.
Come now! Defend yourself! No mercy!
If you are a tactical person, there are a ton of tactical things you can do in this game. You can pause the game, you can switch to each character, you can choose what abilities you want them to individually use and when. You can basically control all of their everything they do, if you are the kind of person who likes to micromanage, which is very cool, but I am not, so I generally don't. The other thing that you can do to control their behavior is there is this tactics screen, and for each character you can, at first you have very few tactic slots, but you can go in and you can say, okay, if you are being attacked by, I also have a mod that increases the amount of it's called Advanced Tactics, I believe, and it makes it so that you have a lot more options, which is nice. So yeah, basically it makes it so that you can say, okay, when this is happening, do this. I like to set on the tank if the hero, which is me, is being attacked, which is in here somewhere. Anyway, we'll do this later. It might be an ally. I know it's in here. Anyway, we'll look at it later. The point being, you have a lot of different options that you can put in here. If you look at it, you can say, okay, with this mod, you have some options normally anyway, but with this mod, you have a huge amount of choices you can do. It's a little bit like the Final Fantasy XII system, if you've played that, where you can tell your characters, if this happens, do this. If you are a target of a debuff, then use, that has curable effects, then do, this thing. Use a health poultice or whatever. So, I mean, there are a lot of things that you can do. You can also turn individual tactics on and off as you find them useful. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time setting this up right now, because I have people in my party that are fellow recruits, and I don't know how that's going to go, so we'll leave that alone for now. Let's go back to fighting and killing these wolves who attacked us, shall we? If you play Inquisition, one of the things that you find out is that sometimes the conditions in the wild that the animals are affected. So in Inquisition, it's there's a breach in the sky, it's letting demons in, it's a bad scene, and that can affect the creatures. It basically causes them to become more feral, more likely to attack. And the same is true when there is a darkspawn situation. Oh, this guy's not having a good day. As I mentioned, you always want to hit your tab key every now and then and see what you might be able to click on. And now we have Missionary Jogby, who also appears to not be having his best day ever. He has a letter and a key to a... No, that's what I have. That's what I got from the prisoner. But Missionary Jogby has a letter, so let's open it up and see what it is. New codex entry, letter to Jogby. And it gave us a quest. My dearest son, it pleases me that you wish to follow in my footsteps and bring the Maker's word to the unenlightened. I wish you had chosen a less dangerous place to do so. Apologies for leaving early for the wild, son, but I wanted to set up camp and get things started. The Chastened respect one with survival skills in the wilds, so I'd hoped to get a grip on that before you arrived, and maybe establish an agreement with the local tribe so that we had friends when you came. It seems like that might not have worked out well. Although, that's, Rigby, so maybe it worked out well for Rigby and just not for Jogby the son. I guess we'll find out. When you reach the wild, you'll find it difficult to navigate. I've listed certain landmarks below. If you follow them, they will lead you to a location I've scouted out where I've left you some supplies. If you're lost, try to get back to that spot and I'll find you. The landmarks are as follows, beginning at the entrance to the wilds from Ostagar. Look for a tree leaning on a ruined building, pass under a fallen tree bridge, pass a submerged tower on the right, look between a high ruined arch and a mossy standing stone, walk along a path of roots and stones, and look for 2 large statues with a chest between them. There you will find our meeting point. I love you, Jogby, my son. I hope to see you soon. Your father, Rigby. Alas, not every wish can be fulfilled. So, we have a new quest, which is to find the place where Jogby is meant to meet his father, to follow the clues to do so. So we shall do that. In the first, the only way we can go at this point is this way, so that is where we shall go. Uh-oh. Ew.
Who is that? Grey Wardens?
Well, he's not half as dead as he looks, is he?
My scouting band was attacked by Darkspawn. They came out of the ground. Please help me. I've got to return to camp.
And this is one of the times where you can start to determine how much of a jerk you want to be. Because you'd be like, we don't have time for this guy, we gotta go. Which, generally speaking, Alistair does not approve of. And he's like, we can at least bandage him up, jeez. But instead, I shall say, let's try to bandage him up at least.
I have bandages in my pack.
Thank you. I've got to get out of here.
Did you hear? An entire patrol of seasoned men killed by Darkspawn.
Calm down, Sir Jory. We'll be fine if we're careful.
Those soldiers were careful, and they were still overwhelmed. How many Darkspawn can the 4 of us slay? 12? 100? There's an entire army in these forests.
There are Darkspawn about, but we're in no danger of walking into the bulk of the Horde.
How do you know? I'm not a coward, but this is foolish and reckless. We should go back.
If you have to tell people you're not a coward, I'm just saying. There are a lot of options here, and they range from very nice to very jerkish. So there's a lot of fun choices here, but I tend to... I like the one where he sounds like a... oh, really? You sound like a coward, but we won't go with that. I'll go with, don't worry, Sir Jory. I'll protect you.
I know I'm relying on you to protect me.
And you can choose to smile at him, roll eyes in mock disgust, roll eyes in true disgust, or do nothing. And of course, what could we possibly do other than smile back at Alistair?
Know this. All Grey Wardens can sense Darkspawn. Whatever their cunning, I guarantee they won't take us by surprise. That's why I'm here.
You see, Sir Knight, we might die, but we'll be warned about it first.
That is reassuring.
That doesn't mean I'm here to make this easy, however. So let's get a move on.
I always liked Daveth. He's such a smartass, and it's just good fun. So, we continue onward. And we see a flower glittering, which means we must click it.
That flower, white with a red center. The kennel master at Ostagar was asking about those.
Why did he want them? Do you know?
The kennel master said this flower can help dogs that get sick from biting darkspawn. At any rate, he was offering a reward if someone went into the wilds and brought him one. Might want to think about it is all.
Now, if you are playing a character that's not a human noble and you don't all have your own Mabari, you do get a quest back in camp from the kennel master to go find this flower, because he shows you a dog that is sick from biting darkspawn, and he says he asks you to help to put a muzzle on the dog so that he can treat him, because he obviously doesn't want to get bit himself and also get infected. But he says if he doesn't get this flower, he's probably going to die anyway, even with being treated, so he asks if you can retrieve it. But since you already have your own Mabari as a noble, you do not get that quest. However, you still get the option to bring back the flower and get the reward, so you're not really missing out there. So, onward and upward. So, remember our quest to for Rigby, Jogby, the bees, mentioned a tree leaning on a building, and there is one, I believe. Honestly, I've done this so many times, and I followed the clues the first time, but I've done it so many times that I already know where it is now, so I don't really follow the clues. But we can look at it really quick. Where's our codex? Nope. That's not what I want either. Codex. So we were looking at this one. So we're supposed to be looking at a tree leaning on a ruined building, and our next thing is under a fallen tree bridge. So this would be the tree leaning on a ruined building, so we can proceed forward and see what we find. Oh, what we find is Darkspawn. Who could have guessed? Thanks for the warning, Alistair. So don't worry, I will shoot them. Ha! Take that. I generally try to go for the archers because the guys, when they're doing their normal AI behavior, tend to go past. Tend to go to the first guys they reach, unless you direct them. Oops. That was a little bit loud. Okay. Unless you direct them, they tend to go to the closest enemy. So I generally aim for either mages first, then archers, of course. Oh, we found a vial of Darkspawn blood.
Right.
Apparently that Darkspawn did not have any blood. All evidence to the contrary.
As you wish.
But this one did. This one did not. Well, I guess Davith and I are set. Jory, you're just out of luck. So here would be the ruined tree bridge, but before we go that way, we cannot get across it, in spite of the fact that they call it a bridge. You cannot actually cross it, because the hero and Alistair and the whole crew here cannot jump in this game, unfortunately. They have not mastered the ability of pushing off from the ground with their feet, and therefore, if it is not flat, they're like R2-D2, and they cannot roll up onto a higher surface. So we have to pass under the ruined tree bridge.
Look there. Poor slobs. That just seems so excessive.
Doesn't it though? Gross, right? Those Darkspawn, they really have an aesthetic and they stick to it. I gotta give them credit for that. So there's stuff up there. When we cross this little area, oh, and right now, in fact, we're gonna get aggro from these dudes that are actually up over this hill. It's almost like I've played this game a lot. I guess I said the other day, I really wish that it was possible to play a game again for the first time. Alright, they got it. They got it. They got it under control, so I'm gonna go ahead and focus on taking stuff. And they can focus on doing the killing. That's a good division of labor, don't you think? So, I shall go up the hill and see what goodies they had up here. Uh-oh. You hear that sound in the background? It means that there's a Darkspawn scout stealthed right near us somewhere here, and he's about to do that. Genlock Rogue. So we kill him. And there's another one. Oh, and now we've gotten the attention of the guys over there. And this one. Sneaky, aren't they? Alright. Good. We managed to get this taken care of without them running off to deal with those guys over there, because I didn't want to do that.
Yes?
Oops. I was not trying to click on you, but since I did. Where are you from, Davith?
I grew up in a village about a day's trip to the east. Little blot you wouldn't even find on a map. Haven't been back in years. I struck out for the city as soon as I could outrun my pa. I've been in Denerim for what, 6 years now? Never liked it much, but there's more purses there than anywhere else.
So, you're a cut purse?
And a pickpocket, thank you very much. Or was, anyhow. Who'd ever guess I'd end up a Grey Warden?
So, how did the Grey Wardens find you?
I found them. I cut Duncan's purse while he was standing in a crowd. He grabs my wrist, but I squirm out and bolt. The old bugger can run, but the garrison caught me first. I'm a wanted man in Denerim, you see, so they were going to string me up right there.
What happened then?
Duncan stopped them, invoked the right of conscription. I gave the garrison the finger while I was walking away. Don't know why Duncan wants someone like me, but he says finesse is important and that I'm fast with a blade. You bet your boots I am. Besides, it beats getting strung up.
I mean, if those are your choices, it seems like a pretty clear preference there. So, what do you think of Duncan?
All right for an old bugger. He's faster than he looks, too.
Oh, what do you think we should do now?
You heard the same speech I did. Blood and old treaties. Off we go into the wilds.
Let's go.
Hey, I'm following you, aren't I?
And we might as well also talk to Jory.
I am ready.
You said you were from Redcliffe.
I hail from Redcliffe, but Duncan recruited me in Highover, a city off the northern coast. Have you travelled there?
My father was the lord of that town.
My Lady Cousland. I'm honoured.
Man,
I
you
was in
should
Arlemon's
be.
retinue when he attended King Maric's funeral. It was in Highover that I met my Helena. I was smitten. She has the most beautiful eyes, my Helena. Now, for years I found any excuse to return there. We married a year ago. Arlemon gave me leave to serve in Highover, but I was attempting to persuade Helena to come to Redcliffe with me, at least until I was recruited.
Given recent events in Highover, that's probably a good idea, if she's still there. Just saying. It's fun to be a jerk to Jory. It's kind of mean, but... So, you abandoned her?
Never. I will return to her once my duty is done and the Blight defeated.
Uh-huh. How did the Grey Wardens find you?
Last month, Duncan visited Highover, and the band held a tournament in his honour. I won the Grand Melee. It was hard to leave my wife. We married only a year ago, and she is heavy with child now. But Ferelden needs my blade, and I shall not falter.
You shall not falter. Famous last words, Jory. What do you think of Duncan?
He has a seemingly impossible task, with a scarce handful of Grey Wardens, yet he does not complain or flinch from his duty.
What do you think we should do now?
We need to find those documents and the Darkspawn blood. It should be... interesting.
Let's go.
Indeed.
It should be interesting, as in the Firefly definition of interesting, where Wash, Mal says, define interesting, and Wash says, oh god, we're all gonna die? That kind of interesting. We found some deep mushrooms. I can unlock a chest. We find a Darkspawn longsword. Generally speaking, the Darkspawn weapons are garbage, but you can sell them, so there's that. We've got a crate over here with some crappy armor. And another crate with some elf fruit. Never have too much elf fruit. Now, let's go and see what was going on over there. Ba-dump, the music says. There's a Herlock. I shall shoot him. I shall miss, but then I shall shoot him eventually. And then Alistair shall stab him with a sword in a really impressive fashion. Oh look, there's more. They're gonna be dead by the time I get there, which is how I like it. Good job, guys. See, had we gotten... Oh, here's our third vial of Darkspawn blood. I guess Jory can be one of us after all. Oh, and some extra blood in case we run into any other random people that might also want to be Grey Wardens. Like, hey, we got some extra blood. You busy? So, oh look, we have another person in a missionary outfit. Who could it be? Oh, Missionary Rigby. Alas. We have Rigby's last will and testament. So, let's see what this one says. To whoever finds this note, this is the last will and testament of Rigby the missionary, proud speaker of the Maker's word. I have come to the wilds to speak the chant, but I fear I will die here at the hands of the Darkspawn. I leave all that I came with to my wife, Jetta. Should the reader of this note feel charitable, I have buried a sealed lockbox in our camp, nestled in a Tevinter ruin in the western reaches of the wilds. It is my will that this lockbox finds my wife in Redcliffe, and that it is still sealed shut when it reaches her. To my wife and son, I apologize that my work has taken me from you, but I know that I die in service to the Maker. Rigby. Well... It sounds like Jetta's not going to have a great day, because it looks like Rigby and Jogby are both dead. That's unfortunate. So we now have a quest to find the cache mentioned in the will and take it to Jetta in Redcliffe. So that's a little longer term. Most of the quests that you get in a certain area are generally speaking to be fulfilled in that area. I am going to turn the music down a little bit in the game because I think that is our current issue. I'm going to make this a little bit lower than the rest of the sound. As much as I love the music, it gets really excited and gets very loud. Okay. So, we've got Missionary Jogby, Missionary Rigby. Oh, what I was going to say is two things. First of all, if we had gotten here earlier, these were wolves, that these Darkspawn were fighting with the wolves, but since we waited, we cleverly let them take each other out, and therefore we only had to fight a couple of them. It's called tactics. Let's unlock this chest. An Ash Warrior Axe. Not terrible, but we don't have anyone that needs to use that right now. So, now that we have collected the Rigby and Jogby quests, we see that the Grey Warden cache is over here. So naturally that's the last place we want to go, because we already have our Darkspawn blood and we know that this is our main quest, and the first rule of RPGs is wherever you're supposed to go, don't go there until the end. So instead, we are going to turn around and go back the way we came, because we were looking for the place where Rigby and oh, that's a little flicker. The mods that I have, some of the mods that I have with this game do a fabulous job at enhancing the graphics, clearing things up. I use Reshade, which helps a little bit with that too. And overall, when I look at my original playthroughs compared to the updated graphics now, it's just... I don't think I could play it. I could play it. I love the game, but it is definitely a noticeable difference. We'll put it that way. So, and most of the time, everything works pretty well. Occasionally you get a little flicker or something like that, like the edge of the water there, but that is noticeable because it doesn't happen very often. So anyway, now that we have passed under our ruined bridge, let's see what else we are looking for. Da-da-da. A fallen tree bridge, submerged tower on the right, and then a high ruined arch and a mossy standing stone. So we're going to pass a submerged tower, which we have not yet done. Oh wait, there we are. Submerged tower. Oops. We also cannot walk through ankle-deep water. The Grey Wardens are very capable with many things, but they do have their limitations. Ooh, elf fruit! In the third game, the herbalism system is much more developed. In this game, it's really primarily used to make health packs, and since we are playing on a more casual difficulty, it's not something that we have cause to use very often. So we pass the submerged tower on the right. But yeah, in the third game, all your potions that you get are made from herbs that you pick up. So, I hear an incoming darkspawn. So yeah, aha!
Right.
3 of them. 4 of them. Very sneaky jerks, aren't they? But fortunately, we're badasses, and therefore we kill them without breaking a sweat.
This should be easy enough.
So I've already forgotten what I said that we were supposed to be looking for. Just talking and doing too many things at the same time, I tend to lose some of them. So, submerged tower, high ruined arch, and mossy standing stone. Oh. Uh-oh. More darkspawn. Bum-bum-bum. What do we do with darkspawn, kids? We kill them. They're evil. Evil, I say.
Desperation is an ugly perfume. Is it just me, or do you actually think you have a chance?
This voice choice is...
Fighting or dying, blast you!
Character voice is amusing to me because she's just so sassy.
On it.
Alright, so we've killed these guys. We'll come back for the elf fruit. Don't worry, we won't forget the elf fruit. But
Let's get started.
we were looking for our submerged arch. And I always have to poke around and look for it because it's a little bit hidden. I think I'm probably in the wrong spot. Yeah, see, that's what I get for saying, I've played this so many times that I remember all the things, because then I don't remember all the things. No, this is not far enough. We have to keep going. And... or not. Maybe I have gone astray. Oh no, wait. Here we are. Bum bum bum. I say that a lot, don't I?
Darkspawn, destroy the fiends.
Go, my minions! Destroy the fiends! I mean, my fellow recruits. Oh, I did pass it by, didn't I? I think I did.
Is that all you got?
Good job, guys. Well done.
On it.
That's okay. We have to go back that way anyway, so it's alright that we took a wrong turn. Or that I took a wrong turn. I'll own it. It was me. Alright, so... Hidden cache. We rummage around in the rubble and find Rigby's secret cache. Inside is an iron lockbox sealed with wax. We have the choice of taking the lockbox and bringing it to Jeddah as he wished, or opening the lockbox and keeping the contents. And the time that I did that, I did not feel that I don't remember exactly what's in it, but I didn't feel the contents were worth the bad feeling of taking a dead guy's last will and testament. So I generally just take it to bring to her. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Continue. So we have completed or updated that quest. We can't complete it until we get to Redcliffe because that's where she is.
Right.
In this chest we find a mud idol, which is a not very good amulet because it only protects you from cold, unless you know that you're about to fight something that does only cold damage, in which case, I mean, there you go. But we also have a baseline garbage dagger that we can sell, and Rigby's field journal. Signs of the Chastened. So what does this one tell us? The chastened barbarians are nothing if not clever. They have hidden markers and signs in the arrangements of stones and rubble along the paths of the wilds. In this way, they mark trails, note places of interest, and even give warnings in a way that outsiders cannot understand. Interestingly, these markers look indistinguishable from a regular pile of stones. I have dedicated my time to deciphering these signs, and I believe I am close to a breakthrough. The trail markers seem to point to a hoard or a location used for secret storage among the chastened. I have only found a portion of the message, however. I think that if I could complete the message, find all of the trail markers, I can find this cache and see what treasure the chastened have to hide. I have found one such marker near this camp, under a fallen tree leaning against the ruins. Each marker seems to point to one or two others. I hear rumors that a darkspawn horde is coming. I hope I can find this treasure before it's too late. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. But now we have another thing to look for, and that is why, one of the many reasons why we went this way first and did not go the way we were told to go. So, oh look, we have a Chastened Trail sign over there. So we'll go and click on it. Because even though he took ages to decipher this whole thing, and we just read a paragraph in his book, that has given us the knowledge to go, oh, this random spot that is absolutely nothing right here is a Chastened Trail sign. We're very smart, or he's very stupid, one of the two, I don't know. Could go either way. I mean, he did come to the Korcari Wilds with a darkspawn invasion coming to go bring the Maker's Word to people that had no interest in it and probably would kill him for trying to do it. So there's a fine line between courageous and stupid, and I kind of have the feeling that he's on the wrong side of it. I know that there is another trail marker back up this way. Every time you see my name appear over my head, you can tell that I am obsessively clicking the tab key because I don't want to miss anything, as I do all the time. There it is. So when it says that everyone is linked to one or two near it, if you do not click the one or two near it, you will not find the next one. So it's sort of a connect the dots kind of situation. So now we shall go back this way, and we've already killed these guys. We did get our elf fruit. I know you were concerned, so we went ahead and got that. I don't know why I say we all the time. Do I think that I'm royalty? I definitely am not. Like, if there's an opposite end from royalty, that is what I am. Oh, here's the next trail sign. A random nothing.
Right.
Right. Agreed. I agree with your assessment. Okay. Now we shall continue moving on this way. I think I turned a little too sharply at the tower is where I went wrong with finding the... Oh, yep, I did indeed, because here it is.
Here.
Because here is a trail of rocks, as our quest said, oops, wrong thing. As our quest said, not that one, this one. Said, a path of roots and stones, and then 2 large statues with a chest between them. And I am sure that as we progress, no enemies will be near this supposed... Oh. Our optimism was so brief. More wolves. Go ahead, guys.
Come now! Defend yourself!
Oh, I probably should have mentioned this at some point. I think it's probably obvious at this point, but if you look at the characters over here, the red is their health, and the yellow, in this case, is their stamina, which stamina is what rogues and warriors use to use their abilities. They consume stamina to use their abilities. If we had a mage in this party, which we currently do not, but if we did, that would be blue instead of yellow because they use mana for their abilities. So when all of the yellow or blue is gone, you cannot use any more abilities until you get some back. And when all of the red is gone, well, you die. So, generally something to be avoided. You will see that on my character there's a little gap, and that is because I currently have a sustained ability, which uses a certain period, a certain portion of my stamina ongoing to have this ability going, which is one of the reasons why I don't love sustained abilities as much. Rapid shot is very useful, but I don't love sustained abilities in general as much because if you take out too many chunks, then you end up with not a whole lot of room to navigate. Anyway, back to the scavenger hunt here. Now we see the 2 statues, we see a chest here. We know very well that Rigby nor Jogby is going to be coming here to get anything in this chest, so it's all for us. We've got a chastened blade, some ice arrows, some chainmail, and a letter. Farewell letter to Jogby. This one is actually no, I guess one of the times I read this, I thought that they had mixed up the son and father names in one of the letters, but I apparently was out of it that day. I don't know. Anyway, farewell letter to Jogby. My dear son Jogby, I fear this is the last letter I will write you. That is correct. I've had difficulty finding the chastened to bring them the Maker's word. I have, however, seen evidence of their passing. They appear to have left this area in great haste, possibly fleeing the so-called darkspawn that are rumored to be gathering in the wilds in ever greater numbers. I'm sure that's not really an issue. I'm sure it's nothing. Those chastened. Pfft. Anyway, I've left you a weapon and everything else I can spare, my son. I will try to find you once I have found a safe place. I only hope that you will be safe. With luck, we will meet again. If you see her, tell your mother that I love her, and take care of our family. Your loving father, Rigby. Well, it looks like his luck was not with him. So, we have completed that quest now, as you can see, it is no longer there. And, in our quest log, we also have a few quests here that are, like, there's one here that this is a DLC quest. It's shown, and it really shouldn't show up yet because we cannot do this until we are at a point where we have control of our characters to go to the world map, and we do not yet. So, it shows that we could do this quest, but we can't do it until later. And that is one of the DLCs. Also for this, we have the quests that we found so far. So the Hungry Deserter was the key that we found from the prisoner for the chest in the Circle of Magi camp, but we couldn't open the chest at the time that we found it because the weird tranquil guy was standing right there watching us and did not approve of us trying to rob his chest. Excuse me. We also have the Tainted Blood, which is our Vials of Darkspawn blood, which we have found. We have the Grey Warden's Cache, which is our other main quest. And then the Mabari Hound is the one that we are going to bring the flower to the Kennel Mastel. The Kennel Mastel. Kennel Master. So the main quest that we have remaining now is the Grey Warden's Cache. So if we look at our map, we can see that we have gone through all of this area. This was our chase and trail sign that we're looking for. We can go back this way and head around and up this direction to that quest. So, onward and upward. Or downward, in this case. So, we are looking for more chastened signs. I think we may have to backtrack slightly because it's up and around there, so we have to go around this way. It always amuses me the dissonance between what would really happen and what happens in a game because it's a game. Like, I'm randomly wandering around and all these people that are with me are like, sure, okay, we're down. Whereas you would think that normally in a situation like that, they would be like, why are we aimlessly wandering around a dark spawn infested world, woods, when we are supposed to be out here doing very specific things? Of course it's up the hill. See? If only we could jump, we probably could have jumped up that hill. But alas, we cannot. Yeah, the chase and trail signs especially, you kind of have to hold down the tab key and wave around the cursor to find it. So there, we have found the next one, and we shall head further south on the map once I walk all the wrong direction. For some reason, I always get turned around on this map, and I always think that I always get east and west swapped in it for some reason. I don't know why. This is not going to work. Alright, so we've already fought those guys. Oh, we've got a chase and trail sign and some elf fruit and impending Genlock rogues. It's like I'm psychic.
Let's get started.
It always cracks me up when a character is in very close range and the
This should be easy enough.
random, the RNG, the random number generation, determines that they are going to miss their attack. Because, you know, when it's a ranged character shooting a bow, they're like, I'm gonna shoot my bow at you. Ah! Like, how do you manage that? It's especially great in an MMO that I love called City of Heroes, where you shoot, you're playing superhero characters, and so you can shoot, you know, lasers out of your eyes or out of your hands, and so in that one, you know, you're looking at the thing that you want to kill, and then all of a sudden you go, ah! Like you just had a muscle spasm. I don't know. It's kind of great. Anyway. So that would go back to that whole line between games and a reality situation. So, we have gone that way, now we must go this way. And this is one area where I do tend to be a little bit more careful, because this is an area where if you are not careful, it is kind of easy to die. And you know that because we just got an autosave. Autosaves are your clue that impending death is ahead. So, we're going to be very careful in the direction that we go. There's a chasen sign up here. We don't have to be very careful this time because we're playing on easy mode, so, you know. There's a chasen sign up there right in front of a bridge on which something might be standing. Oh, look, it's a darkspawn. Who could have imagined? But he's a sneaky darkspawn. He's kind of a jerk. Before we do that, though, let's kill the rogue that's about to pop up. Try to minimize how many characters we're fighting at the same time.
That went well.
That went well.
Right.
I agree, Alistair. Good job. Well done, everyone. I'm very proud of you. Good job. Alright, let's go get this chase and trail sign and see if we can not aggro that guy.
Over here.
And we did. Now, I'm going to tell all these guys to hold still for a minute. And I am going to attack this guy. For a second. And he's gonna run away. And that is the reason that I told them to hold still. Because in the area that he just ran away, there are, because I've played this before, I happen to know, there are many traps and other enemies that if your party goes blithely strolling across the bridge here, they will get caught in the traps and aggro just everything in the world. And we do not want that. So this is one area where I actually have them chill for a bit. Alright, Alistair. You go ahead and come up here. And some of the dudes will come up here to hit you. We can pause while we tell everybody what do we want them to do. We want Davith to come up this way. And
Heads up, trap ahead. Heads up.
alright. And that is why we have done this. Is it going to let him disarm the traps? Does he have that ability? Why do I always do that? That's not what I want. Skills. That's what I want. Davith. He does not. I don't think I do either. Well, I guess we're running through the traps. Good luck, guys. So you can tell them a direction to go to try and avoid the traps. And that's really all you can do if you don't have the ability to disarm the traps. It does not want to let me do that. Okay. And Jory can do whatever. We don't care which direction he goes. Alright. Onward, everyone. Yeah, see, you got that one, but at least you missed some of the other ones. That is a mage. And okay, go ahead and do your thing now, guys. We're past the
Don't say I didn't warn you. On your guard.
So yeah, it's just an area where there are a lot of enemies, some hazards. Your party likes to run off in directions that are dumb, and it's, if you're playing, like, as you can see, we're playing, like I said, on easy mode. It's makes it, you know, pretty hard to die generally. I've said that, and now at some point in this playthrough I will, and I'll feel really stupid, but oh well. We just got a codex entry. But yeah, it's just, especially if you're playing on a harder mode, that's an area that is just got a lot going on. It's something where you kind of gotta be careful. But let's see what our new codex entry is. I think we've probably missed a few along the way too. Our new one is A Pinch of Ashes. Torn from a book on local myths and legends, the Korcari Wilds are rife with legends and myths that have amazed and confounded scholars since the fall of Ostagar in ancient times. One such mystery lies behind the tale of Astia and Nebinar, two young lovers who lived in Ostagar. The legend says that Astia grew up in the company of Gazarath, a spirit of the earth bound to an overhang on the bank of a lake in the Korcari Wilds. Gazarath began to fancy her, and they spent much of their days together, talking and laughing. Over the years, however, Astia became a woman and began to seek the company of men. When Astia met Nebinar, the two fell in love, and Astia hoped to bring her lover to see her spirit friend, because she was not very bright. But the spirit angered and jealous, bade her begone. Gazarath told her that she would never see it again until she brought her lover's ashes and sprinkled them over their spot. Astia was horrified, and she fled from the enraged spirit. But she began to miss Gazarath, and she was murderous as well as stupid, because on the day Nebinar asked her to marry him, she cut her beloved's throat, burned him, and brought his ashes to Gazarath, knowing that their marriage would forever sever her ties to her dear spirit friend. And you wonder why people in Thedas have issues with dealing with spirits. There are legends among the Chastened that Gazarath still haunts the lake, and that those who sprinkle the ashes of the deceased over the right spot can summon the spirit. In memory of the contract with its beloved Astia, Gazarath will grant a single wish and then vanish, never to be heard from again. A note is scribbled in the margin beneath the page. Marcus, I think this is real. If you take the ashes I gave you and scatter them over a pile of rocks on an overhang overlooking that half-sunken Tevinter dome, maybe Gazarath will appear and give you a wish. If the battle takes you there, I think it's worth a try. Famous last words. Alright, we're not going to read any of these. I don't want to mark all as read because I want to know which ones we actually have not read yet. But we're not going to read the how-to. I think we can pass on that one. What do we find in notes? Oh, these are just the credits for the Feast Day Gifts and Pranks DLC, which we have not had occasion to use yet. We've got something unread in Books and Songs. The Legend of Luthias Dwarfson, which we learned from the... I'm not going to read this one because we heard most of the story from the Ash Warrior back in the camp. But the part that I still find interesting about this one is that the Avar chieftain, the beautiful and powerful Avar chieftain that was the one that ended up seducing and causing all the malfunctions for Luthias Dwarfson, was Morriganon, which in a video on my channel I talk about Tyrda Brightaxe, which is a legend that is spelled out in the third game, Dragon Age Inquisition, and on statues all across the hinterlands. And so you learn about Tyrda's legend, and her daughter was Morriganon, who then goes on to be in this legend as well. This does include a part that the Ash Warrior does not mention, which is when Luthias rebuffed Morriganon, she was very angry, and there was war between their tribes, which he mentions. But in one of their battles, a powerful young warrior from Morriganon's tribe challenged Luthias to a battle. Luthias was injured grievously, but slew the boy. Morriganon revealed that the boy was Luthias' son, conceived 15 years ago during their tryst. She cursed Luthias as the murderer of his own kin, and the Battle of Red Falls turned against him. So, all of that, the rest of it pretty much follows what the Ash Warrior said, but that bit is especially sad, I think. Communication fail, really, with Morrigan in there. We have anything interesting here? The Commandments of the Maker. I'm not going to do that one right now. And that's more bits from the chant. It's very interesting. The poetry of it is very pretty. If you have an opportunity to read the World of Thedas books, I highly recommend it. It's interesting to read. I'm not going to read it all right now, though. This one is pretty important, though. The Fade. Not that the chant isn't important, but the basic ideas of the chant that are the most relevant to the game, you definitely have lots of opportunities to hear as you go. But the Fade is a very important concept. The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For so long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart, always as close as our own thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Tevinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade, an ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the disparate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging cataloging a few hundred types of spirits before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can. And as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. This is from Tranquility and the Role of the Fade in Human Culture by First Enchanter Josephus. And the fact that that's also about tranquility leads us to this one, the Tranquil. The Tranquil are the least understood but most visible members of the Circle. Every city of respectable size boasts a Circle of Magi shop, and every one of these shops is run by a Tranquil proprietor. The name is a misnomer, for they are not tranquil at all. Rather, they are like inanimate objects that speak. If a table wished to sell you an enchanted penknife, it could pass as one of these people. Their eyes are expressionless, their voice is monotone. Incomparable craftsmen they might be, but they are hardly the sort of mages to put ordinary folks at ease. And that's another one from Brother Genitivi. And I think we're good with codex entries for now. We'll come back and get some more later. So, now that we have gone through this entire mess and done all this, let's get our loot and let's find out where this chastened trail sign actually led us. Oh, we got more loots back here. Oh, that's the traps that we'll probably, hopefully, not walk through again. So. Oh, I hear the sound of Genlock rogues.
I think we work well together.
Oh, I agree, Alistair. I think we worked well together too.
This should be easy enough.
And we pick up our various loots since they were dumb enough to attack us. We go over here because elf fruit! Yeah, in this game you mainly use that for if you have herbalism as a skill, and then you can make health potions or health things. Wow, that's really impressive. Health poultices, that is the word I was looking for. You can make those. Which I do not have. We will get some folks in the party that have it eventually, but mainly you just collect it because it's a thing that you can click on. So, chastened cache. Let's see what we wandered all around the wilds for, shall we? A few things, some gems, that's worth it. Chastened shaman robes, Thane helmet, a wild's bow, which is about the same as our Kuzlin ceremonial longbow. The wild's bow is probably better because it's got a bonus to attack and a bonus versus beasts, but the reduced aim time on the Kuzlin's bow is really nice too, so I may just hang on to it for now. So we loot everything, and we have completed the quest. Oh, and I have leveled up a while ago and completely forgot. So I am going to put a little bit in strength, just because it affects what armor you can wear, generally speaking. Let's see what I can get here. We already have this passive ability. I think it might be because of a previous playthrough, but I'm not 100% sure. This is a passive which basically lets you move around opponents easier. Probably not going to pick this one. This is a below the belt. The rogue delivers a swift and unsportsmanlike kick to the target. Which I'm sure as a female I find that more amusing than some male players do. I cannot pick any additional archery skills just yet because I do not have improved combat training as a skill. That is the downside of focusing on coercion, is that you sort of make it so that you can't take some of these additional abilities, but that's okay. We will take combat movement for now. Alright, onward. We are not going to go the way of the traps. We are going to go the other way. There's not a whole lot out here. Oops. Did we autosave? I think we may have. I may have hit F5 by accident, which is the quick save, so you know there's that. But oh, I see elf fruit. Always gotta go for the elf fruit. Oh! But we also see bad guys. We do have to backtrack a little bit because I realized I missed the spot where we're supposed to sprinkle the ashes. So, since they have not seen us yet, I'm just gonna turn back and go this way. And this is the spot we were looking for. Death root, which just sounds so pleasant. Like, who named that, really? You know, you gotta wonder. So here are the the rocks that we...
On it.
We see a pile of stones covered in a fine layer of dust and ash. So we can sprinkle more ash on the pile of stones or leave the stones alone. Well, what fun would that be? Let us sprinkle more ash on the pile of stones. I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
Who summons Gazarat from slumber?
Don't say I didn't warn you!
He lit Alistair on fire. Rude.
Nicely done.
Thankfully, he's not as flammable as he looks. So, we got an ornamental sword, which does us very little good, and a pile of rags, which has some boots that would be nice if we were mage, but we're not. So, but we have finished the quest, and that's what's important. So that's another one that's off the list. So now we just have to go get the cash. Give me the cash, as Fifth Element would say. And now, when we get back in view of these guys, we can fight them. This is another area where you can get yourself into trouble if you're playing on harder mode, because the enemies are spaced out along this path, kind of, and your melee players will run up and get themselves in trouble. Because they'll get into a battle that just keeps going. And, you know. But, since I am not playing on a higher difficulty, I just shoot things until they die. Or sometimes I miss them and they die anyway because I have minions that are more apt than I am
Let's
inept.
get started.
Alright, so we have gathered this.
This should be easy enough.
And now we must go to the hidden Grey Warden cache and open a box and get out some papers, and I'm sure it will be as simple as that and nothing untoward will happen, no complications whatsoever, because that's how it works in role-playing games, or any games really. If you had no complications, it would make for a really boring game. Alright, so here's the chest. Oh no, it's smashed and broken!
Well, well, what have we here? Are you a vulture, I wonder? A scavenger, poking amidst a corpse whose bones were long since cleaned? Or merely an intruder, come into these darkspawn-filled wilds of mine in search of easy prey? What say you, Scavenger or intruder?
There is something not quite right with her render. I don't know if there's an issue with the skin that she's using, if I accidentally swapped it out and messed it up, or what, but her face should not look plastic and her eyes should not look like she's blind. They should be yellow, so I'll have to fix that before the next time we play. Anyway, So she wants to know if we are scavenger or intruder. Oh, the other thing that I have changed with the mod for her is her natural outfit is ridiculous. I have no problem at all with outfits that are revealing or meant to be alluring, attractive. That's cool. I have no problem with that. But her outfit is ridiculously impractical. She's in a place that is a cold swamp, and it's basically a scarf with a bikini top. It's dumb. And just, no offense to whatever dev made that outfit, and we're trying to make something unique and cool, but it is irritating to me. So I have a mod that has changed that out. Hopefully that is not... that mod is relatively new to my setup, so that may be conflicting with something else I have. I'll have to check it out. Anyway, scavenger or intruder, she says. And we have the option to be nice or suspicious. So I will tell her that I am neither. The Grey Wardens once owned this tower.
'Tis a tower no longer. The Wilds have obviously claimed this desiccated corpse. I have watched your progress for some time. Where do they go, I wondered? Why are they here? And now you disturb ashes none have touched for so long. Why is that?
Don't answer her. She looks chastened, and that means others may be nearby.
Oh, you fear barbarians will swoop down upon you.
Yes, swooping is bad.
She's a witch of the wilds, she is. She'll turn us into toads.
Witch of the Wilds. Such idle fancies, those legends.
Ugh.
Have you no minds of your own? You there. Women do not frighten like little boys. Tell me your name and I shall tell you mine.
Well, she gets... I'm on her side a little bit because of comments like that. It's always good fun. I apologize for the error with the with her skin and eyes there. It's very weird and immersion breaking. Anyway, being raised as a noble, I feel that she would stick to manners. I am River. A pleasure to meet you.
Now that is a proper civil greeting, even here in the wilds. You may call me Morrigan. Shall I guess your purpose? You sought something in that chest? Something that is here no longer?
Here no longer? You stole them, didn't you? You're some kind of sneaky witch thief.
How very eloquent. How does one steal from dead men?
Quite easily, it seems. Those documents are Grey Warden property, and I suggest you return them.
I will not, for 'twas not I who removed them. Invoke a name that means nothing here any longer if you wish. I am not threatened.
This is the beginning of the exchanges between Morrigan and Alistair, and they go throughout the game, and I absolutely love them because they're hilarious. They kind of almost instantly hate each other on sight, and they are not shy about letting each other know that, and it's kind of great. Okay, anyway, she didn't remove them, so that I can say, then who removed them?
'Twas my mother, in fact.
It was. Can you take us to her?
There is a sensible request. I like you.
I'd be careful. First it's, I like you, but then zap. Frog time.
She'll put us all in the pot, she will. Just you watch.
If the pot's warmer than this forest, it'd be a nice change.
Follow me then, if it pleases you.
That's actually one of the few lines from Jory that I really love. The pot's warmer than this forest. It'd be a nice change.
Greetings, Mother. I bring before you 4 Grey Wardens who...
I see them, girl. Much as I expected.
Are we supposed to believe you were expecting us?
You are required to do nothing, least of all believe. Shut one's eyes tight or open one's arms wide. Either way, one's a fool.
She's a witch, I tell you. We shouldn't be talking to her.
Quiet, Davith. If she's really a witch, do you want to make her mad?
Good point.
There is a smart lad. Sadly irrelevant to the larger scheme of things, but it is not I who decides. Believe what you will. And what of you? Does your woman's mind give you a different viewpoint? Or do you believe as these boys do?
I admit that I am a sucker to all the lines like that where because all the points that they make about not being a lot of women among the fighters, not being a lot of women in the Grey Wardens. Anytime that I get to say things like whatever, that boys are scared, but I'm not, that kind of thing. It always tickles me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So, anyway, do you believe as these boys do? There are a lot of options here. We can cut right to the chase, or I always like this one. We could go, I believe you're crazy and possibly dangerous, which kind of amuses her. But I kind of like, I'm not sure what to believe.
A statement that possesses more wisdom than it implies. Be always aware. Or is it oblivious? I can never remember. So much about you is uncertain, and yet I believe. Do I? Why, it seems I do.
So this is a dreaded Witch of the Wild.
Witch of the Wild, huh? Morrigan must have told you that. She fancies such tales, though she would never admit it. Oh, how she dances under the moon.
They did not come to listen to your wild tales, Mother.
True, they came for their treaties, yes? And before you begin barking, your precious seal wore off long ago. I have protected these.
You protected them?
And why not? Take them to your Grey Wardens and tell them this Blight's threat is greater than they realize.
I love the voice I love all the voice acting in this for the most part, but the voice actor for Flemeth here, for the Witch of the Wilds, is we haven't heard her name yet. For her is, of course, Kate Mulgrew, who is an actress that has done a lot of things. For me, the one that stands out the most is Captain Janeway in Star Trek. But I know she was also in Orange is the New Black and a ton of other stuff, and she's awesome. She does a fabulous job with this role. And then, of course, the work of Steve Valentine playing Alistair is always dear to my heart. So, what do you mean the Blight's threat is greater than they realize?
Either the threat is more, or they realize less. Or perhaps the threat is nothing. Or perhaps they realize nothing. Oh, do not mind me. You have what you came for.
Time for you to go, then.
Do not be ridiculous, girl. These are your guests.
Oh, very well. I will show you out of the woods. Follow me.
I think we might have time just to get through the joining. This is the other reason that we saved that quest for last, because at the end of it, you are returned to Ostagar. So if you had more things to do in the Korcari Wilds, you would have to turn around and go back out and go back to wherever you were, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. So that one is to be saved for last. So, anyway, now we have returned. We will go find, first of all, let's see, the Ash Warriors are no longer here. They took off their dogs. We'll go over here to the Kennel Master, who we understand needs this flower.
Greetings. Are you one of the Grey Wardens that went into the wilds? Did you happen to see any white flowers?
Yes, in fact, I have one of them with me. I saw a dozen, but I only picked up this one because it was the only one I could click on.
I don't know for sure that the flower will aid my poor hounds, but it's worth trying. I have, 20 silver to offer as a reward for it.
My character, having been raised as a noble, I feel would be very inclined to say, oh no, That's fine. I don't need your money, even when she kind of does. It's a habit that I'm sure would endear her to Morrigan if she were here. So, a reward is not necessary.
You're very generous. Thank you for your help. Perhaps we won't lose as many hounds today as I'd feared.
Anything I can do for the hounds of Ferelden. We value them Abari. They have to be taken care of. Oh, there's Wynn again. We've already talked to her, though. Oh, and now the Tranquil that we talked to earlier is over here, and the chest is unguarded. Before we do that, though, well, no, we'll do that first. Let's see, how are we on inventory space? Yeah, we're good. So we will go use the chest that we got in a really disgusting way from the prisoner in the cage when I gave him food the other day. He gave us the key that he had hidden by swallowing it. Ew. And then gotten back later. But, a deal's a deal. And now we can open this chest. It has a whole bunch of stuff in it. Normally, it would just have these things in it, but there is a mod called the Phoenix mod. Phoenix Armory, I believe. I have to get all of my mods laid out and posted somewhere. I keep saying that, but I will. But yeah, normally they would just include this stuff. But all the Phoenix stuff is from the mod, so hopefully I will have room. Oh, good. So, now, I'm going to go back over here and promptly sell all of it. But first...
Hello again. Is there something you need? Some supplies, perhaps?
Since I shopped with him earlier and I bought the backpack upgrade that he had then, now after coming back from the wilds, he has another one. So... we can buy it again, which is very worthwhile. I think it's just under all. All at the bottom. Okay. Anytime you can buy a backpack upgrade, buy the backpack upgrade. As a general rule. Now, that being said, let's sell all the stuff that we don't need. These are some decent daggers we'll hold on to. The tier kind of helps with choosing what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. This one shows that it's tier 3, but it also does have, you see that sort of transparent square at the bottom of it, means it has a slot that you could put a rune in, which does increase it. But the Chastened Flat Blade is a great sword, and I don't think, well, maybe we'll hang on to it. Ornamental sword we don't need. Family sword, light blood, darkspawn longsword is garbage. Don't need a mace. Don't need a two-handed maul. I don't think I'll keep that because I think I will have better. I think I'm not sure if I can use this one now, but if so, I will switch to that because it is a very nice bow. I'm gonna get rid of the bolts because we don't have any crossbows right now, so there's no reason to hang on to them. Don't need a darkspawn staff. And that is our DLC item. Let's get rid of some other stuff. Tier 1. That's a mage item. Get rid of leather boots. Sorry, this part's really boring. Try to go through it pretty quickly. Enchanter's robes. These are the items you can sort by type, you can sort by alphabetical, you can sort by newest. I usually leave it on type because it's easier to figure out where things are. The only time I'll change it by alphabetical is if I'm looking for a certain set of things and they all start with the same, like Grey Warden armor, Grey Warden breastplate, Grey Warden blah blah blah, then it's helpful, but otherwise it's not really. So let's see which one of these robes that we have, which is the best, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be that one. The mage robes do not have tiers like the other stuff because they don't typically have armor. This one does, so it just depends on what you got. Or they don't necessarily have armor, I should say. Like this one, okay, I lie. All the ones I have armor. They tend to have more effects obviously on magic and willpower, which are the mage related stats. So anyway, I'm just going to keep the one that's best so that when I get a mage in my party, I have one that's good for them. So I'm going to get rid of the apprentice helmet. I'm going to get rid of... I get rid of the chastened robes just because I don't really like them anyway. I don't really care for the way they look. So I have a mage hat, a mage robe. Do I want to keep? This one has a very large amount of willpower and magic, which is nice because it's very flexible in that. So I think we will keep that. And that is a DLC item. So generally speaking, they tend to be a little bit beefier. I'm going to get rid of that. And I don't need 17 lesser health poultices. I almost never use stamina drops or mana potions or lyrium potions because, as we have mentioned, we are on an easier difficulty. So gems until way later in the game have no use other than to sell, and by the time you get to that point, you can find more. Early on, when you're trying to conserve your inventory space, it's good to just get rid of them. And wolf pelts. Alright. See, these are the runes that you can put in some of the items, but I think that's going to do us for now. Alright. So, we have sold off our items, we have turned in our quest. All we've got now is to go and talk to Duncan. I wonder what will happen. Oh wait, I was going to switch out my bow. Not that it matters right at this exact second, but we've got 1120, 1040. I think we're gonna go with this one for now. It's also not quite so massive, which is nice. And we'll just go with fire arrows for now. I am not one for like huge, ridiculous weapons, like the giant, ridiculous Final Fantasy swords. It's like, okay, well, sometimes that's fun, but most of the time it just gets in the way of what I'm trying to see. So anyway, let's talk to Duncan.
So you returned from the wilds. Have you been successful?
We have. I'm not gonna whine.
Good. I've had the Circle mages preparing. With the blood you've retrieved, we can begin the joining immediately.
Maybe we should tell you about Morrigan and her mother.
There was a woman at the tower, and her mother had the scrolls. They were both very... odd.
Were they wilder folk?
I don't think so. They might be apostates. Mages hiding from the Chantry.
I know you were once a Templar, Alistair, but Chantry business is not ours. We have the scrolls. Let us focus on the joining.
Now will you tell us what this ritual is about?
I will not lie. We Grey Wardens pay a heavy price to become what we are. Fate may decree that you pay your price now, rather than later.
Is that why the joining is so secret?
If only such secrecy were unnecessary, and all understood the necessity of such sacrifice. Sadly, that will never be so.
Let's go then. I'm anxious to see this joining now.
I agree. Let's have it done.
Then let us begin. Alistair, take them to the old temple.
The more I hear about this joining, the less I like it.
Are you blubbering again?
Why all these damn tests? Have I not earned my place?
Maybe it's tradition. Maybe they're just trying to annoy you.
I always liked Daveth. I like to be a smartass with this one just because Jory gets on my nerves. I swear, I'm the bravest one here.
I only know that my wife is in Highever with a child on the way. If they had warned me, it just doesn't seem fair.
We're going to a war.
Maybe that's why they don't. The Wardens do what they must, right?
Smart guy.
Including sacrificing us.
I'd sacrifice a lot more if I knew it would end the Blight.
You make a good point.
You saw those Darkspawns tonight. Wouldn't you die to protect your pretty wife from them?
Maybe
you'll die. Maybe we'll all die. If nobody stops the Darkspawn, we'll die for sure.
I've just never faced a foe I could not engage with my blade.
At last we come to the joining. The Grey Wardens were founded during the First Blight, when humanity stood on the verge of annihilation. So it was that the first Grey Wardens drank of Darkspawn blood and mastered their taint.
Taint.
We're
Drink!
going to drink the blood of those creatures.
As the first Grey Wardens did before us, as we did before you. This is the source of our power and our victory.
Those who survive the joining become immune to the taint.
Drink.
We can sense it in the Darkspawn and use it to slay the archdemon.
It's a drinking game. Every time they say taint, you drink. We were talking about that last week. So, anyway. It's such a solemn moment, and I'm cracking jokes, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Those who survive.
Not all who drink the blood will survive, and those who do are forever changed. This is why the joining is a secret. It is the price we pay. We speak only a few words prior to the joining, but these words have been said since the first. Alistair, if you would.
Join us, brothers and sisters. Join us in the shadows where we stand vigilant. Join us as we carry the duty that cannot be forsworn. And should you perish, know that your sacrifice will not be forgotten. And that one day, we shall join you.
Davith, step forward.
Tasty.
Maker's breath.
I am sorry, Davith. Step forward, Jory.
But I have a wife, a child. Had I known...
There is no turning back.
No! You ask too much. There is no glory in this.
I am sorry.
Guess he was serious about that whole no turning back thing.
But the joining is not yet complete. You are called upon to submit yourself to the taint for the greater good. From this moment forth, you are a Grey Warden.
Little armor glitch there.
It is finished. Welcome.
2 more deaths. In my joining, only one of us died, but it was horrible. I'm glad at least one of you made it through.
How do you feel?
You can be stoic about it. I mean, really, she just had, like, everyone she knows die, like, a couple weeks ago. I'm pretty sure this doesn't rate on the scale, so... It's over. I'm fine.
Did you have dreams? I had terrible dreams after my joining.
Such dreams come when you begin to sense the Darkspawn, as we all do. That and many other things can be explained in the months to come.
Before I forget, there is one last part to your joining. We take some of that blood and put it in a pendant. Something to remind us of those who didn't make it this far.
Take some time. When you're ready, I'd like you to accompany me to a meeting with the king.
What kind of meeting?
The king is discussing strategy for the upcoming battle. I am not sure why he has requested your presence. The meeting is to the west, down the stairs. Please attend as soon as you're able.
So, dog's just laying there chilling, looking dead. It's a little disturbing. Get up, dog. What's up, dog? No, anyway. Let's go with... No, I don't have any. I only have this. I think I'm gonna hold the point for now. This will stay there and not go away, so that's kind of annoying. But I have to note that the reason that there was the armor glitch there with her arm, part of her arm being gone, is that it basically is a it's a glitch either way. If you have modded armor, sometimes the gloves and the rest of the like the chest armor don't always match up properly. In this case, they take off the gloves because excuse me, if you do not take off the gloves, you hold the cup in a way that looks completely ridiculous, and it's like screws the whole thing up. So a fix is to take off the gloves, but in this case, since I'm wearing modded armor, yeah, so that is the explanation for that. Anyway, onward and upward. We can go do this meeting, and I think that'll be it for today. Anyway, so here we go to our meeting.
Loghain, my decision is final. I will stand by the Grey Wardens in this assault.
You risk too much, Kalen. The Darkspawn Horde is too dangerous for you to be playing hero on the front lines.
That's the case. Perhaps we should wait for the Orlesian forces to join us after all.
I must repeat my protest to your fool notion that we need the Orlesians to defend ourselves.
It is not a fool notion. Our arguments with the Orlesians are a thing of the past, and you will remember who is king.
How fortunate Marek did not live to see his son ready to hand Ferelden over to those who enslaved us for a century.
Then our current forces will have to suffice, won't they? Duncan, are your men ready for battle?
They are, Your Majesty.
And this is the lady from Highever I met earlier? I understand congratulations are in order.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Every Grey Warden is needed now. You should be honored to join their ranks.
Your fascination with glory and legends will be your undoing, Kalen. We must attend to reality.
Fine. Speak your strategy. The Grey Wardens and I draw the Darkspawn into charging our lines, and then?
You will alert the tower to light the beacon, signaling my men to charge from cover.
To flank the Darkspawn, I remember. This is the Tower of Ishal in the ruins, yes? Well, who shall light this beacon?
I have a few men stationed there. It's not a dangerous task, but it is vital.
Then we should send our best. Send Alistair and the new Grey Warden to make sure it's done.
If it's not dangerous, I can do it myself.
No. It's best that you both go.
You rely on these Grey Wardens too much. Is that truly wise?
Enough of your conspiracy theories, Loghain. Grey Wardens battle the Blight no matter where they're from.
Yeah.
Your Majesty, you should consider the possibility of the Archdemon appearing.
There have been no signs of any dragons in the wilds.
Isn't that what your men are here for, Duncan?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, the tower and its beacon are unnecessary. The
We
circle
will
of
not
Magi...
trust any lives to your spells, Mage. Save them for the Darkspawn.
Enough! This plan will suffice. The Grey Wardens will light the beacon.
Thank you, Loghain. I cannot wait for that glorious moment. The Grey Wardens battle beside the King of Ferelden to stem the tide of evil.
Yes, Kalen. A glorious moment for us all.
You heard the plan. You and Alistair will go to the Tower of Ishal and ensure the beacon is lit.
What? I won't be in the battle.
This is by the King's personal request, Alistair. If the beacon is not lit, Tern Loghain's men won't know when to charge.
So he needs 2 Grey Wardens standing up there holding the torch, just in case, right?
I agree with Alistair. We should be in the battle.
That is not your choice. If King Kalen wishes Grey Wardens to ensure the beacon is lit, then Grey Wardens will be there. We must do whatever it takes to destroy the Darkspawn, exciting or no.
I get it. Just so you know, if the king ever asks me to put on a dress and dance to Remigold, I'm drawing the line. Darkspawn or no.
I think I'd like to see that.
For you, maybe. But it has to be a pretty dress.
The tower is on the other side of the gorge from the king's camp, the way we came when we arrived. You'll need to cross the gorge and head through the gate and up to the tower entrance. From the top, you'll overlook the entire valley.
When do we light the beacon?
We will signal you when the time is right. Alistair will know what to look for.
Can we join the battle afterwards?
Stay with the Terran's men and guard the tower. If you are needed, we will send word.
What if the Archdemon appears?
We soil our drawers, that's what.
If it does, leave it to us. I want no heroics from either of you.
How much time do we have?
The battle is about to begin. Once I leave, move quickly. You'll have less than an hour.
Are we in any danger?
Of course. Even the best laid plans go awry. So do what you must. I trust you both.
Just not enough to actually fight with the rest of you.
There will be plenty of battles, Alistair. Be patient.
I know what I have to do.
Then I must join the others. From here, you two are on your own. Remember, you are both Grey Wardens. I expect you to be worthy of that title.
Duncan, may the Maker watch over you.
May he watch over us all.
Okay. And with that, we have reached the end of today's stream. Just to the point where we are heading off to the tower to light a beacon, and I'm sure nothing will go wrong. I'm sure it'll be smooth sailing, but we will see that for sure on Wednesday at 4. So thanks for coming and checking it out, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. To see more travel highlights of virtual destinations, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if there's a game location you'd like me to visit, tell me in the comments below. If you enjoy what I do, feel free to support me on Ko-fi.com or check out my travel stickers, postcards, and other designs on Redbubble. Links are in the description. Safe journeys, and see you next time on Travel Rebooted.